How to make any woman miss you badly even if she's not interested. Modern Stoic. Absence sharpens love. Presence strengthens it. Thomas Fuller. Let's be honest. Few things are more disheartening than investing your time, energy, and best self into a woman who meets you with coldness or indifference. You show up, you offer your attention, maybe even your vulnerability, and in return, silence, disinterested, a wall. Welcome to modern dating, where attention is cheap, validation is instant, and options are endless. In this noisy, fast-moving world, how do you become the man she can't stop thinking about? The one who lingers in her mind even after the conversation ends. Here's the truth few men are ever told. You don't make a woman miss you by doing more. You make her miss you by being more and knowing exactly when to step back. The mistake most men make is chasing, explaining, proving. That energy screams insecurity. It kills mystery, and it tells her you need her more than she needs you. But the men who stand out, the rare 5%, understand something deeper. Desire isn't earned through pressure. It's created through presence, absence, and purpose. If she's distant, it's not rejection, it's an opportunity. It means she hasn't felt that emotional pull toward you yet. Your job isn't to push harder, it's to pull away with intent, to become the man who doesn't need to chase, because he's too grounded to beg, too focused to flinch, and too magnetic to ignore. That's when she starts thinking about you, replaying your words, watching your stories, wondering, why can't I get him off my mind? That's how attraction begins, in your absence, not your over-effort. In this video, I'll walk you through 8 clear, strategic steps that flip the script. No games, no gimmicks, just time-tested principles that make you unforgettable. Even if she's not interested now. This isn't manipulation. It's emotional self-mastery. It's time to move differently. It's time to become the man who's worth missing. 1. Don't try to impress her. The biggest mistake most men make when dealing with a woman who seems disinterested is slipping into what I call impress mode. It's subtle at first, but unmistakable. Suddenly, the job title is louder, the car is shinier, the watch gets flashed, the gym results find their way into the conversation, and life becomes a highlight reel, presented not out of joy, but out of need. That need to be noticed, to be validated, to be picked. But here's the hard truth: trying to impress a woman who isn't already interested doesn't make her curious. It confirms her indifference. You may think you're showing her your best self, but what she actually sees is a man who feels he's not enough without her approval. And once she senses that it's over, not because she's cruel, but because women are wired to feel attraction for men who radiate inner value, not men who beg for it. She might be polite. She might say, "That's impressive," or offer a nice smile. But the damage is done. The emotional tension is gone. And where there's no tension, there's no desire. If you truly want a woman to miss you, to feel your absence, to think about you when you're not around, to quietly wonder why she's suddenly drawn to you, then stop performing, stop auditioning, stop throwing credentials and charm at her like confetti. You don't win her attention by pushing, you win it by pulling back. You let her lean in. What does that look like? Presence over performance, stillness over spectacle, grounded energy instead of nervous energy. This is not about manipulation, it's about mastering yourself. A woman feels the difference instantly between a man who needs her to validate his worth and a man who's already centered, calm, and in control. That's the power of Stoicism. A Stoic man doesn't chase admiration. He commands respect through his quiet certainty. He doesn't brag about what he's done, because he knows what he's capable of, and that knowledge is enough. In a Stoic life, you become less interested in how someone reacts to you and more invested in how you react to the world. You operate from internal stability, not external reward, and women feel that deeply. While most men are clamoring for attention, the Stoic man sits back, observes, and lets his absence speak volumes. Why isn't he trying to win me becomes the whisper in her mind. And that whisper, that subtle pull of uncertainty, is where longing begins. You must understand mystery matters. Confidence is quiet, and detachment is attractive, not because it's cold, but because it shows strength. Real, masculine strength, the kind that doesn't fold when faced with indifference. If your self-worth is shaken just because she hasn't texted back, you're not living with intention, you're reacting, chasing, pleading for approval. And that's not love. That's emotional dependency dressed up as courtship. Don't fall into that trap. Stand still. Be grounded. Let her feel that you're not trying to earn her. You're inviting her to discover you. That's a massive difference. And in that difference, desire grows. If you show her you're full with or without her, she'll feel that. If you make it clear through your actions that her interest doesn't define your value, she'll start wondering what makes you so whole. That's the secret. You don't make her miss you by being more visible. You make her miss you by being more valuable. And value doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, it doesn't perform. It just is. When you embody that truth, when you live by Stoic lessons and build your life from within, not based on who gives you attention, then you become the kind of man she doesn't just want. She remembers. Long after the others fade away. 2. Become a man of mystery. Don't hand her a manual on how to figure you out. Be the riddle she can't stop trying to solve. If you want to make any woman, even one who seems cold, aloof, or utterly disinterested, miss you so badly it sneaks into her dreams, then you must become a man of mystery. Not aloof, not arrogant, just unpredictable. Be the storm with calm eyes. The modern Stoic understands this better than most. That restraint is not weakness, it's power. The old Stoic didn't shout his worth, he let silence echo with meaning. You do not need to broadcast your every thought, feeling, or past wound to gain her affection. In fact, that's exactly what you shouldn't do, and that's what most men do, and that's why most men get boxed, labeled, and shelved under just a friend. They show up with their hearts in their hands and their stories spilling out. There's no edge, no chase, no curiosity left to stir the pot of desire. Women crave emotional tension. It's not the knowing, it's the not knowing that draws her in. The man she can't fully pin down, the one whose thoughts feel like a novel with missing chapters. That man is unforgettable. You must cultivate that magnetic uncertainty, that sense that there's a layer of you she hasn't touched yet, not by being cold, but by being composed. The blessing of Stoicism lies in its mystery, the calm, controlled air of a man who reveals himself in pieces, not paragraphs. Drop hints, share shadows. Let her imagination work overtime. And when she starts wondering what you're doing, who you're with, what you're thinking, that's when the magic begins. Because when you're not in the room and she's still thinking about you, you're no longer just a man in her life. You're a presence in her mind. You don't win her over by being the loudest or the neediest. You win her by being unforgettable. You win her by letting silence speak for you. Be disciplined in your self-reveal. Be the man who doesn't overshare, who doesn't chase validation like a boy, but who holds his cards because he knows their worth. That is the essence of the modern Stoic. He doesn't beg for attention. He earns obsession. And that, my friend, is how you make her miss you, not with words, but with the haunting feeling that she never fully had you to begin with. And if this hit you like it should, drop a comment right now. I don't chase, I create curiosity. Like this video, subscribe for more modern Stoic wisdom, and never forget, being a mystery isn't a game, it's a strategy. Stay sharp, stay stoic. 3. Master the art of disappearing. If you want a woman to miss you, especially one who seems uninterested, you must master the most underestimated power move in modern dating: disappearing with dignity. This isn't ghosting. This isn't punishment. This is discipline. This is strategy. This is stoic control. Disappearing is not an emotional tantrum. It is an act of self-respect. You're not stepping away because you're defeated. You're stepping back because you refuse to beg for validation. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When a man disappears with intention, he declares, I do not chase what does not choose me. Say it again. I do not chase what does not choose me. That is strength. That is power. That is the way of the modern Stoic. Most men fear disappearing. They think silence means surrender. They think backing off means they've lost. But understand this truth: you cannot be missed if you're always there. A woman cannot feel your absence if you never give her a chance to experience it. Constant availability kills attraction. Familiarity numbs value. You are not valuable when you are always accessible. Disappearing creates contrast. Contrast sparks curiosity. Curiosity pulls her back in. When the rhythm is broken, when the pattern changes, the mind becomes alert. She begins to ask, where is he? Why did he stop calling? Why do I suddenly feel this silence? That's when the seed is planted. That's when you're no longer a man in the background. You become a mystery, a force, a question that demands an answer. Let me be clear, this is not a game. This is not manipulation. This is a Stoic principle. Saanino. The wise man never gives energy to what drains him. He detaches, he lets go, he watches, he waits. He does not chase. He is not convinced. He values his peace over her presence. That is how you master yourself. That is how you master life. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, said Marcus Aurelius. Let that guide your actions. Be so grounded in your purpose, so focused on your mission, that your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. Become a man she notices when he's no longer there. Disappear not to punish her, but to empower yourself. Don't explain, don't defend, don't announce your exit. Just go silent, pull back, focus on your craft, sharpen your body, and elevate your mind. Live with intention. Walk the Stoic path. Let her feel the weight of your absence. That weight is what teaches her your worth. That's when she'll miss you. That's when she'll see you. That's when the power shifts. This is the mindset of the man who commands attention without chasing it. This is the code of the modern Stoic. So master it. Disappear with strength. Return only if it's worthy. And if she never comes looking, good. You just saved yourself from a lifetime of begging for crumbs. Victory isn't getting her back. Victory is becoming a man who never needed to chase in the first place. 4. Let her hear about you, not from you. Gentlemen, here's one of the most elegant yet overlooked moves in modern Stoic life: learning the art of indirect presence. You want her to miss you, to wonder about you, to crave your attention again, even when she wasn't showing much interest to begin with. Then stop flooding her inbox like a desperate poet lost in the 2000s. Don't be the guy constantly poking, texting, liking, or calling just to stay relevant. That's not power, that's panic, and panic never attracts. Presence does. Here's the trick. Be heard without speaking directly. Let her catch wind of you, not from your lips but from the world around her. You must master the quiet magic of influence. It's the kind of influence that doesn't beg for attention. It earns it. That means you live your life so vividly, so clearly that people can't help but talk about you. You let your actions echo. You let your growth be noticed. By mutual friends, subtle updates, social media glimpses, even by your absence in places she used to see you, you become a story whispered, not shouted. This is Stoicism in practice. It's not about faking anything. It's about living so authentically and powerfully that the world starts to report your progress on your behalf. As the old Stoic lesson goes, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. You don't talk about how much you're growing. You grow. You don't tell her you've moved on. You move. You don't post thirst traps. You post passion, purpose, power. Be the man who radiates momentum. And let's be honest, in today's noisy, desperate, and oversharing world, a man who doesn't seek constant attention is practically a unicorn. Rare, mysterious, compelling. Why? Because when she hears that you're leveling up, without her in the frame, it stings, it sparks, it spins the wheels in her head. Why isn't he trying to talk to me? How come I'm hearing about him from others? Is he better without me? That emotional curiosity is where desire is born, not through a double tap on her filtered brunch photo. Remember, you're not showing off. You're showing up for yourself. You're not rubbing it in. You're rising above that. That's the Stoic life. That's dignity in motion. You stop explaining and start demonstrating. You stop needing approval and start moving with purpose. And the moment she hears you're becoming better without her, that's when the shift happens. That's when the silence becomes magnetic. So don't be the echo in her inbox. Be the whisper in her world. Let her hear the sound of your life expanding, even if her name is no longer part of the script. That's strength. That's seduction. That's Stoicism at work. Let her feel your distance. Let her witness your evolution from afar. And above all, be the man worth hearing about. If this resonated with you, like the video, share it with a brother who needs this reminder, and hit subscribe for more Stoic wisdom that sharpens your edge. Comment to lock it in. I let my life speak louder than my words. Let her hear about you without you having to say a thing. That's the modern Stoic way. 5. Build a life she can't ignore. Don't chase her. Don't beg. Don't craft texts like a high school poet hoping she'll feel something. Be the man who turns the mirror on himself and says, "I'm not done yet." Because let's be honest, there's nothing more magnetic than a man lost in the fire of his own mission. When a man leans into his purpose, when he stops seeking validation from women and starts sculpting his own path, something shifts, quietly, powerfully. She notices. And even if she doesn't, yet the world does. That's the beauty of it. You're not leveling up to win her back. You're leveling up because you're done playing small. The modern Stoic doesn't scream for attention. He becomes the kind of man whose silence makes noise. He goes to the gym not to flex, but to fortify. He reads not to impress, but to grow sharper, wiser, colder, in the best way. He builds his business like a fortress. Every rep, every book, every deal is a quiet declaration, "I'm becoming undeniable." And here's the truth. The woman who once scrolled past you, doubted you, dismissed you, she'll feel the gap. Not because you rubbed it in her face, but because the blessing of Stoicism is that it speaks volumes without needing to say a word. You become the man she thought didn't exist. This isn't about bitterness. It's not revenge. It's the old Stoic way, detached, but not disinterested, grounded, not aloof. You're no longer trying to impress anyone. You're becoming someone no one can forget. That's the line. That's the difference. She may not see you now, but if you commit to building, truly building, your body, your mind, your world, she will. And by the time she looks again, you may not even care. Or none of that. That's the power. That's the paradox, though you stop needing her. And that's when the respect begins. And make no mistake, respect is the foundation of desire. Without it, there's nothing but dust. Be dangerous in your peace. Be ruthless in your focus. Be selfish in the best possible way. Because a man on a mission becomes a gravitational force, not because he's loud, but because he's still. He walks with weight. The modern Stoic doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't explain, he shows. He doesn't need to be seen, but he can't be ignored. That's the magic. That's the blessing of Stoicism. It teaches you to care deeply but act wisely, so to feel fully but live freely, to love without losing yourself. So stop waiting for her to come around and stop wondering if she's thinking about you. Be the man who leaves echoes in her silence. Build a life so rich, so grounded, so full that she realizes she didn't just lose a guy, she lost a force. That's the win. That's the quiet revenge. And if you do it right, by the time she misses you badly, you'll be long gone. Not bitter, not broken, just better. As the old Stoic would say, control yourself or be controlled. You choose. 6. Make her question her value in your life. Most men give away their power too easily. They chase, they explain, they validate. But you must become the kind of man who doesn't flinch when she pulls away. You must be the man who stands firm, silent, composed, like a modern-day Marcus Aurelius. When you stop reacting, when you withhold the validation she's grown used to, you awaken something powerful inside her uncertainty. That is your weapon. Most women walk through life expecting to hold influence over the men they encounter. Emotional control, attention, significance. When you remove that influence, subtly and without bitterness, you flip the script. You take back control. She begins to question. She begins to doubt. Was I wrong about him? Why isn't he chasing me? Did I matter at all? These are not passing thoughts. These are deep emotional hooks that shake her sense of security. That mystery, that emotional turbulence makes her miss you badly, because now you are the question she can't answer. And we always chase the questions we cannot answer. The Stoic man doesn't beg for validation. He doesn't need to be wanted. He chooses who is worthy of his attention. As Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Want less, need less. Show restraint, show discipline, and that is strength, that is power. She doesn't miss you when you give her everything. She misses you when she realizes she no longer has access to what she once assumed was hers. That shift in power changes everything. Let her wonder where she stands. Let her feel the silence. That silence speaks louder than words. Don't chase. Don't explain. Don't fill the gap. Be the gap. Be the mystery. Apply Stoic principles to your emotional life. You are not here to entertain drama or chaos. You are here to master yourself. And when you master yourself, others take notice. Women, especially, take notice. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. In modern life, this is your shield. Most men are emotional slaves, reacting, pleading, proving. But you are not most men. You are carved from stone. You are deliberate, calm, unpredictable. And in that calmness, you become unforgettable. Her emotions crave answers. When you stop giving them, You become the one thing she can't define. And what we can't define, we obsess over. Let's be clear, this is not manipulation. This is power through discipline. This is choosing yourself. This is Stoic wisdom in action. You're not doing this to hurt her. You're doing this to reclaim your center, to elevate your value, to stop being available at every whim. You must disrupt the dynamic. You must become the man she can't quite figure out. That mystery makes her miss you deeply. That distance builds desire. Let her come to you. Let her feel the absence of your presence. Because when a man governed by Stoic principles withdraws, it echoes, it shakes the ground she walks on. And in that silence, she begins to remember everything you brought into her life. You don't need to be louder. You need to be still, more exact, more resolved. The world tells you to chase. I'm telling you to hold and stand tall. Be the man who chooses, not the one who waits to be chosen. Victory belongs to the man who knows when to step back, because he understands that silence creates gravity. And gravity pulls everything back in. You want her to miss you, then stop being available. Stop explaining. Let her sit in the silence. Let her question everything. That is how you make a woman miss you, badly. That is how a modern Stoic wins. 7. Never show you care more. This is the golden rule, the law of emotional gravity, the line in the sand that separates men who lead from men who chase. Never, under any circumstance, let it seem like you care more than she does. The moment she senses your happiness depends on her affection. Your power slips through your fingers like sand. She won't say it. She may not even know it consciously, but she feels it. And what she feels is this: the challenge is gone. The mystery is dead. The chase is over, and so is her desire. Here's the truth you probably already know deep down: when you care more, you act differently. You get softer. You overtext. You seek reassurance. You anticipate rejection before it even arrives. You become the emotional version of fast food, convenient, always available, no effort needed. And what do people do with what's too available? They ignore it. They take it for granted. They look for something harder to reach. Desire doesn't thrive in certainty. It breathes in tension. You don't need to be cold. That's not what this is about. Don't become a statue. You don't need to stop caring altogether. You just need to stop showing it in ways that cost you your presence, your pride, and your peace. You don't stop engaging. You engage with purpose. You don't give her your heart before she earns your trust. You don't play your cards when she hasn't even stepped up to the table. That's the art of control. That's the strength of living a Stoic life, still waters that run deep. Calm doesn't mean indifferent. Calm means secure. It means rooted, like a tree in the storm. When she pulls back, you don't panic. You don't text something desperate. You don't ask what's wrong. You stay grounded. You trust your value. You walk forward with quiet confidence. And in that silence, in that pause, she starts to feel something she didn't expect. Doubt. Did I misjudge him? Why isn't he reacting? Why do I keep thinking about him? These aren't just passing questions. They're seeds of longing, emotional splinters that dig deeper each day, and that's how she starts to miss you. Not because you tried harder, but because you didn't flinch when she pulled away. That's real power. That's Stoicism in action. Marcus Aurelius, the original emotional gladiator, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Take that in. Tattoo it on your heart. You don't control her choices, her feelings, her whim. But you do control how you respond." That's the Stoic lesson most men never learn. Self-mastery is the ultimate game changer in love. And don't get it twisted. This is not manipulation. This is alignment. You're not pretending to care less. You're choosing to care correctly. You're choosing not to overextend, not to offer emotional intimacy on a silver platter to someone who hasn't yet earned a seat at your table. You're not chasing the illusion of love. You're standing firm in your standards. Because let's face it, if you're always available, always responding, always bending over backward, then what reason does she have to value your presence? What makes you special if your attention is a free buffet? You must become the man whose energy is earned, not assumed. You must learn the power of silence, of delayed response, of graceful absence. Sometimes disappearing is more powerful than showing up. That's the core of the Stoic life. Discipline over impulse, self-respect over pleasing people. You don't react to every emotion that floats your way. You don't hand over your sense of worth just because someone smiles at you. You build your value in solitude. You measure your words. You guard your time. And most importantly, you never hand your crown to someone who hasn't proven they deserve to walk beside you. So here's the move. Let her feel the distance. Let her feel your silence. Let her question what went wrong, and don't correct her, don't explain, don't chase. Be the man who walks away with power in his step and peace in his soul. That absence will echo louder than any desperate words. That silence will haunt her more than your presence ever could. Because when you don't flinch, don't beg, don't lose yourself, she finally sees what you are: solid, composed, valuable. And what's rare is missed. What's stoic is magnetic. What's calm is irresistible. So remember this: you don't get her to miss you by giving more. You make her miss you by giving less. But with purpose, with strength, with dignity. That's the move. That's the rule. That's how a modern man guided by Stoicism becomes unforgettable. And that, gentlemen, is how you win without lifting a finger. Without. 8. Be emotionally independent. Emotional independence is a game changer. When a woman sees a man who depends on her for validation, approval, or emotional support, it signals weakness. She'll instinctively pull away. You need to be emotionally self-sufficient. Understand this: your happiness, your value, your sense of worth, they must come from within. Don't look to others to fill the void in your life. The moment you stop needing external validation, you immediately become more attractive. Women are drawn to men who possess self-control, who don't depend on them to feel whole. This doesn't just happen by accident. It's a deliberate choice, a conscious decision. You must master this. When you stop giving away your power by seeking constant approval, you tap into a deeper, more attractive version of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is a key Stoic principle. Happiness is rooted internally, not externally. When you live by this principle, you radiate confidence and self-sufficiency. You show her that you're not looking to her to complete you. You're already whole. And that, my friend, is a rare magnetic quality that will have her thinking about you long after you've left her presence. Your emotional independence is a testament to your maturity. You must develop the ability to control your emotions. Do not let them control you. Be the master of your own state of mind, no matter what life throws at you. This is the way of the Stoic, like Marcus Aurelius taught us. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you can remain calm, composed, and centered in any situation, you're not only respecting yourself, but you're also commanding respect from others. And women, they will respect you because you don't let your emotions dictate your actions. You move with purpose, not impulsivity. When you're emotionally stable, you exude an aura of invulnerability. This draws women in. It sparks curiosity. They'll start wondering, what's his secret? Why doesn't he need anyone to feel validated? And that's when the magic happens. Now, here's where the strategy comes into play. When you're not constantly available, when you're not always vying for attention, you make her realize your worth. You've created a healthy emotional distance, not through games, but through a genuine understanding of your own self-worth. You stop seeking validation and approval, and as a result, she begins to miss you. She starts to respect you more. And the key to this lies in consistency. Stay true to your emotions. Be the man who doesn't fold under pressure. Be the man who doesn't crumble when things don't go his way. This is Stoic power. You're not easily swayed. You remain constant. The power of emotional independence is not just about not needing her. It's about having the strength and wisdom to stay true to yourself, no matter what. When you learn to stand firm in your own values, you inspire respect. You create a sense of longing. You make her miss you without even trying. This is not about manipulation. This is about mastery. Mastery over yourself, your emotions, your actions, and women. They respect mastery. Be the man who lives by Stoic principles. Be the man who doesn't look for approval but rather sets the standard for what a high-quality man is. Your emotional independence becomes your most powerful asset. When you master this, you're not just attracting attention, you're commanding it. And that, my friend, is when women begin to truly miss you. They'll respect your presence. They'll long for you, because you are the man who needs nothing from her but offers everything. You've created an aura of emotional independence that makes you irresistible. That is the power you have as a modern Stoic. Now, go claim it. Hey, thanks for sticking with me till the end. Here's the thing. If you want to make a woman miss you, especially one who isn't initially interested, you've got to shift your focus. It's all about mastering emotional control, embracing silence, and letting a little mystery work its magic. When you stop trying so hard to prove your worth and start owning it instead, that's when curiosity kicks in. And guess what? That's when she starts to miss you. Not because you chased her, but because you became unforgettable. So take this advice to heart. Keep working on yourself. Focus on your own growth. And remember, it's your presence, not your desperation, that will make you stand out. Stay grounded, stay stoic, and let the magic happen. Catch you next time.